Boy everyone, and welcome to Finish Your Plate. Karelian pies, or pasties, however you want to call them, Karjalanpiirakat. They are perhaps one of the most iconic Finnish dishes. These ones have a rye crust with a rice filling. Originally though, they probably did not have rice filling. They were probably filled with either potato, maybe a rutabaga, maybe some carrot. So I'm going to show you how to make these Karelian pies and also some egg butter to go with it. Sometimes in Finland these are also called rice pies due to legal issues with the name Karelian pie, Karjalanpiirakat. First we're going to make the filling. So I have here equal amounts of arborio rice or short grain rice and water. So I have about 2 deciliters of both. I'm just going to pour the water in here first and then the rice. So now we're just going to cook this until all the water evaporates. So now the water has been pretty much absorbed. I have here 1 liter of milk, which I'm going to pour in. Just make sure this is not going to boil over and cook it slowly, simmer it for about 40 minutes. And now the dough. I have here 2 deciliters of water, 2 deciliters of flour, all-purpose flour, and 3 deciliters of rye flour. Also a teaspoon of salt. Just gonna mix this all together. We're gonna mix this very minimally, just enough to bring it together, really. This does not need to be kneaded like regular dough. And then I just have a tablespoon of neutral cooking oil. And now that it's starting to come together, start mixing this by hand. Again, like I said, just enough to get everything mixed, all the dough hydrated, and that is all. Now I'm just going to wrap this in plastic wrap until I'm ready to actually make my Karelian pasties. There we go. So this way it will not dry up while I'm waiting for the filling. So now there's about 5 minutes of cook time left. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna season this with a teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of butter. Salted butter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cover it for the rest of the time. To make the crust, we're gonna take the dough. Just going to use some rye flour to prevent it from sticking. And I'm going to divide this in 2. And each of these parts I will then split up into 10 parts, so 20 pieces total. There we go. Each of these pieces I'm going to roll into a ball. Roll this piece into a log. Split it into 2. And then each one of these 5 pieces. There we go. So now I'm going to end up with 20 dough balls. So now I'm just going to flatten out each one of these just with my hands. If you stack them, make sure you add plenty of rye flours in between so they do not stick to each other. I'm just going to cover these in plastic so they don't dry out while I'm working on them. Now I'm going to just make this into a disc about 4 inches wide. Use a lot of rye flour so it does not stick. Try to make it as thin as possible. And now we're going to take the filling we made and we are going to just spread it towards the edges like so. And this is the tricky part. So what we're going to do is we are just going to fold the sides in like so, and then with your thumb and your forefinger just go like that, and then the last piece is like that. There we go. This one we're going to transfer here on the baking sheet that has been lined with rye flour. Do not use parchment paper on the baking sheet. Just put them directly on the sheet. This is a fun thing to do for the whole family if you want to get your children involved. And of course, if you happen to have an odd shaped one like this, don't worry. I'm sure they will taste just great. So, we'll take about a tablespoon of the filling, a little bit more. Some people like more filling, some less. And then we will just spread it almost to the edge. Again, pick up each side, fold it over like so, and then you just go with your thumb and your forefinger like so. There we go. And this one we will transfer over here. Like so. Take the filling, about a tablespoon and a half, and then just spread it to the edges like so. Okay. Take either side, fold it over, and then with your thumb and your forefinger, go like this. And last one like so. Once I have all these done, these are going to go in 530-degree oven for about 10 minutes. Straight out of the oven, brush these with some butter and water mixture. I have here half a cup of water mixed with 2 tablespoons of butter, just melted. Really get that in there, in between the crevices. And now we'll put these in this bowl, like so. Now I'm going to cover these with some parchment and then just a kitchen towel. So this is going to let them soften up a little bit. I'm gonna let them soften for about half an hour minimum. While your pasties are softening up, make the egg butter. So here's 3 eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and I'm just going to smash up. And I'm going to mix this with equal parts of butter. Now, if your eggs are still warm, the butter is going to melt. So make sure to put this in the fridge if that happens. So you just mix the butter together with the eggs. Use salted butter again here. Unsalted butter is not really a thing in Finland. It's available, but most often use salted. So now the Karelian pasties have been softening for about half an hour. So all you have to do is just take one and add some of the egg butter we made. And here we go. Finished Karelian pies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Finish Your Plate.